Do not put your kids first, because you will not have a successful relationship. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Okay, I'm on my way to work, and I'm going to talk about something that is not fitness related right now. This morning I read an interesting article. Michelle Obama had done an interview and talked about how she spent about 10 years of her life resenting and angry at Barack. And I thought it was very interesting. First off, that she said it, I think, is honest, and it's nice to hear honesty from people, because everybody spends their time with the, I'm super mom, I'm super dad, everything's perfect in my life, social media baloney, and that is not real. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that it is something that I have learned over time, and it took me a long time to learn this. I hear clients who are separated or with their kids all the time talking about how, my kids are number one. My kids come first, everything else is second. My spouse just has to suck it up and live with that. From my own perspective and from my own experience, and listen, I may not know what the hell I'm talking about, because let's be honest, I'm divorced, right? I mean, the hell would I know? I will say this. I think that is wrong-headed. And I think it's wrong-headed in a couple ways, and the first way is this. Number one, you are telling your children they will somehow be number one for the rest of their lives, and they won't be. That's a fact. No one's making those kids number one later. It's just you. Which is, it's great that you're like, oh, my children, they're incredible. I'm going to be number one. No one else can be as cool as my kids. I get all that. I understand all that, and I respect all that. The thing that I will tell you with that is this. No one else will do that. No one's going to make your kids number one. Nobody. And they're going to come out of being an adult, into being an adult or a teen or whatever, and they're going to get a rude awakening about life, because that's not the way it works. It's just not the way it works. No one else is going to give a damn about them, and they're going to come into life thinking, hey, shit, I'm number one. I'm the most important person in the world, and they're not. And people are going to find that out real fast, and it's going to suck for them. So that's the number one reason. From my own opinion, because I'm sure lots of people will be like, Devin, you're an idiot. And you know what? You're welcome to that opinion, because quite frankly, I might be wrong. Number two, so number one is, your kids they're not going to be number one for anybody else. Number two, and these are in no particular order. Number two is that your kids are leaving. That's a fact. They're going to leave. Like, they're going to get 14, 15, whatever. They're going to leave. And if you spent your life sacrificing, saying my kids are number one, first, you're going to be probably resentful of that, because you haven't had a relationship, or you haven't been able to have a relationship, because all you're doing is concentrating on your children. If you stayed with your spouse, you haven't gotten divorced, guess what happens? Well, what happens is that now you are living with someone who you don't really know and you don't really like that much, because you spent all your time and energy on something else. And that something else is like, I'm gone, see ya. Because that's what we raise children to do. They have to leave. They're supposed to leave. You raise them so they can be normal, productive, upstanding members of society, and they leave. It's like the Cats in the Cradle song. Listen to that. The kid is going to leave. And when they leave, what do you have left? Well, you have a spouse that you've alienated, or both of you have alienated each other for years about putting somebody else first, and then guess what? Now you don't even like each other anymore, because you haven't put any time and energy into it. Look, the whole story about grass is always green on the other side of the fence. Grass is green where you water it, guys. That's just a fact. Period. End of discussion. If you don't put any time into your relationship, it's going to end. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm divorced. I know this shit. It will end, and you know what? It won't end well. And then you'll be pissed off, and you will have wasted a bunch of your life, and you get one life. So don't do it that way. And then the third one that strikes me, and everybody, and I know it's not a popular opinion, because parents, single parents, still married parents, whatever, everybody has the same, my children are number one, and my children will always come first. Here's the deal. You're not going to have a successful relationship ever. If you want to model something good for your kids, model a good relationship where your spouse, your partner is first. Okay? Model that. And a lot of people, I'm sure, are going to get on here and be like, you're an idiot. What the hell are you talking about? It's not true. My kids, because that's what social media tells us. Your kids have to come first. I spent a lot of time doing this ass backwards. I did it the way I'm complaining about right now, and were like, my kids. I did it for years. And my ex told me, and it took a number of times for her to tell me before I finally listened, that, you know what, there's more to life, and you know what, they're going to leave. And she said all the same shit to me, and I didn't listen for a long time. It took me time. Right? You have to get there on your own, and I now go back and look back and kick myself because I shouldn't have done that. Here's the deal, and the interesting thing is I've read a lot about this. I've listened to a ton of podcasts about this. I've read a lot of listened to a lot of audiobooks about it. The thing is, pretty much every therapist in the world, couples therapists, will agree with this. Do not put your kids first, because you will not have a successful relationship. We all want a successful relationship. Let's be honest. We all want one, right? We all want to be in a relationship that works and that we feel valued, and, you know, our love language is justified, and we feel like somebody cares about us, etc. Look, if you're putting your spouse, or your spouse is putting you, third, fourth, fifth, ninth, 12th, whatever on the list, that is stupid. It's not going to work. You will get divorced, or you will split up. It's just a fact. Because here's the thing, that person should be the person that is, I hate the term ride or die. I think it's the stupidest term ever, because, in reality, we're not going to kill anybody. Like, let's be clear, I'll ride with you, but if I have to die, there's some real serious questions. I don't know how many people are on that list. But if you're not in that ride or die mentality with your spouse, with the person you're with, if that isn't your person, we all talk about this, love of my life. You see that shit on Facebook all the time and Instagram. This is the love of my life. This is my ride or die. This is my everything. This is my person. They're your person. They better be number one on the damn list. I mean, in reality, let's be honest, you should be number one on the list, and they should be number, 2 or whatever. But you got to take care of yourself. You want to be good at anything, you got to take care of yourself. But if you've taken care of yourself, we're just merging into traffic here. If you've taken care of you and you're taking care of them, and they're doing the same in return, you're going to have a rock solid relationship, which means you will model that damn relationship for your kids. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to grow up and do all the same screw ups that you did? Or do you want them to grow up and model what they see in a healthy, happy, normal relationship? Ask yourself that. And I know it's not popular. It's not popular on social media because everybody wants to be super mom and super dad, right? Everybody wants to be the best of the best, and I'm the best mom, and I'm the best dad, and we're going to do this, and kids. These are the loves of my life. They're not. Or people posting pictures of their kids. Here I am with my best friend. They're not. They're your kid. They have time to be your best friend later when they're 20, 22, 25, whatever. They can be your best friend then, but they damn well can't be your best friend while they're kids. And they shouldn't be number one. And if they are number one, you're screwing it up. I'm sorry. You're just fucking it up. And you're going to be sitting there later unhappy with that decision, or you're going to have gone through multiple relationships trying to make it work because you are doing it wrong. And I'm saying this right now because every therapist I've ever read about agrees with this and says the same thing. Don't make your kids number one for all the reasons I've just listed and other ones. So look, guys, the fact that Michelle Obama is saying, I really disliked my husband for a long time, it really frustrated me. I'm with her on that. I understand it. You can be frustrated, but relationships are hard. They're not easy. You're going to go through ebbs and lows. There's going to be times where the other person's giving 80% and you're giving 20, or vice versa. It just can't go on for long. But if you're giving 20% because you're dumping 80% into your kids, you're doing it wrong. Same as putting 80% into your job. If you put 80% in your job and 20% in your spouse, you're not going to win that one either. Your spouse should come first on the list. They should be the most important person on that list. And if they are the most important person on that list, you're much more likely to have a successful relationship, which is best for your kids in the end of the day anyway, right? It's just going to be best for your kids if you model something good and healthy and reasonable for them. And if you don't, I can tell you right now, you will have some problems. Again, like I've said this a couple times in this video, I'm divorced. I know this from experience because I've been on both sides of it. I have made my kids number one, and it was wrong, and I screwed it up, and I wish I hadn't, because, I probably would have done a better job with them and with my relationship. And I've been on the other end where I'm last, and I didn't like it, and it sucked, and guess what happened? That didn't work either. You gotta find it. People have to be on the same path, and you know what? Spend some time and energy looking this shit up. Just Google it. Every psychological person who's working in this industry, who's a couples therapist, whatever, will agree with me. So get off the Facebook baloney and Instagram baloney about, you know, this is going to be my kids, ride or die, my best friend. Your spouse needs to be that person. They just do. I'm sorry, that's the way it works. If you have comments, questions, things you want me to talk about, write them up down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'm sure I'll get some interesting ones from this. Have yourself a great day, everybody. Don't fight, be awesome.